In the distant future, overpopulation threatens to destroy Earth. To create a backup plan in case the planet's ecosystem collapses, humans decide to make Mars habitable, a process called terraforming. They begin by growing simpler life forms like moss on Mars's surface. This moss would help increase the planet's temperature, making it more Earth-like. To spread the moss, genetically engineered cockroaches are sent to Mars. Fast forward to the year 2597 in Tokyo, where two criminals, Machi and Nao, are being pursued by the police. They dash through the crowded streets, but are eventually caught. As the authorities close in, a futuristic vehicle hovers in the sky and lands nearby. Dr. Honda and his assistant step out of the vehicle, there to recruit the criminals for their own purposes. The doctor offers them a deal. If Machi and Nao agree to join the Mars colonization mission and eliminate the now unnecessary cockroach colonies on the planet, their crimes will be pardoned. The duo accepts the offer. Cut to 2 years later. Machi and Nao, now trained, are en route to Mars with other criminals aboard a spaceship called Bugs 2. Nao constantly doubts the team's abilities, as they are made up of ex-convicts. As she voices her concerns to Machi, the ship's captain, Kuki Dojima, announces that they are about to land on Mars. She orders everyone to prepare for descent. When they finally touch down, they are stunned to see Mars covered in green moss instead of its signature red dust. Lieutenant Mina deploys a device that releases chemicals into the air to kill the cockroaches. Captain Dojima then instructs the team to split into pairs to check whether the eradication is effective. As they choose their teams, a member named Asuka insists on pairing up with the group's computer specialist, Juro, rather than her assigned partner. The captain agrees to avoid conflict. Soon after, the team's drones detect an older ship, Bugs 1, sent 10 years prior, nearby. Captain Dojima contacts Dr. Honda to report that they are ready for first contact. The doctor can barely contain his excitement at the prospect of the mission's success. The team steps onto the surface and begins their search for dead cockroaches. However, two members, Jan and Maria, are perplexed when they find none on the moss. As they continue their search, they suddenly encounter 3 mysterious creatures standing before them. They quickly hide behind a rock, terrified. They hadn't been warned about encountering such large creatures, human-sized anthropomorphic cockroaches wielding clubs as weapons. Meanwhile, Machi and Nao, also searching for dead cockroaches, come face to face with the same type of creature. Machi, thinking fast, tries waving at it, but within seconds, the creature attacks Nao and snaps her neck. It flees in an instant, leaving Nao's lifeless body behind. She dies in Machi's arms, and he watches helplessly, overcome with grief. Just then, Jan's team arrives and informs Machi about their own encounter. Asuka has also been killed by one of the creatures. The group rushes back to the ship and reports to Captain Dojima, only to learn that the captain had known about these creatures all along. Following orders from the doctor, he was forbidden from disclosing the truth to the team. The captain explains that the cockroaches sent to Mars 500 years ago evolved rapidly due to high radiation levels, transforming into beings far stronger than humans. Suddenly, the doctor appears as a hologram and tries to calm the team, assuring them that he's been preparing for this scenario for years. He reveals that each team member has been given specialized injections designed to grant them superpowers based on different insect species. The drug, which enhances their DNA with that of specific insects, will give them the abilities they need to combat the evolved cockroaches. However, the team members are not eager to fight. They want to abort the mission and return to Earth immediately. But before they can act, their ship is surrounded by the creatures. One brave team member, Lee, volunteers to distract the cockroaches while the others work to restart the craft. He steps outside and injects himself with the chemical provided by the doctor. Instantly, his body begins to mutate, transforming him into a human ground beetle hybrid. Now equipped with the beetle's ability to shoot flames, Lee takes on the cockroaches. With his newfound powers, Lee launches flames from his hands, pushing the creatures back and burning them. However, when the fire subsides, he realizes that only the exoskeleton of the creatures has been damaged. One cockroach rushes at him and kills him in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, another cockroach latches onto the spaceship, smashing through the windows and entering the craft, killing 2 team members on sight, leaving the others in panic. Desperate, the captain injects himself with the drug, causing his DNA to merge with that of bullet ants, creatures capable of carrying objects 100 times their weight. The captain swiftly slams the cockroach to the ground, killing it. The team celebrates, but their joy is short-lived as the radar detects a swarm of cockroaches heading towards the ship. Realizing they can't fight them all, the crew decides to take off and return to Earth. However, when the lieutenant attempts to start the ship, the engines malfunction and the system shuts down. It becomes clear that someone has sabotaged the ship to prevent their departure. Thinking quickly, the captain devises a plan. The team will head to the other ship, Bugs 1, to retrieve the necessary parts to repair Bugs 2, while he stays behind to fight the cockroaches. Ichiro volunteers to remain with the captain and assist him. Before they leave, Komachi visits Nal's corpse one last time and notices strange threads emerging from her mouth, but dismisses it. The team then boards the Mars rover, which must travel through a horde of cockroaches. A member named Suka offers to help by injecting himself with a drug, transforming into a bug-human hybrid capable of shooting high-speed flame projectiles. Using his power, he propels the rover through the crowd. Meanwhile, the captain battles the invading cockroaches inside the ship, but more continue to swarm in. He makes his way to the control room and depletes the ship's oxygen, causing the cockroaches to suffocate. While this strategy works, the lack of oxygen also affects the captain and Ichiro, who both collapse. As the team in the rover travels, they notice a massive wave of cockroaches heading toward them. Despite the overwhelming odds, Suka continues to push the rover forward through the swarm. They manage to break through and safely land on the other side. The group begins to move forward again, but soon another, even larger wave of cockroaches approaches. Suka is unable to fight them all alone, so Maria and Osaku transform into their hybrid forms to assist him. The three battle valiantly, but the rover flips and crashes violently. Suka, Maria, and Osaku are thrown from the rover, while the rest of the team is knocked unconscious inside. The rover, now in autopilot mode, continues towards its destination. Meanwhile, Suka, Maria, and Osaku prepare to face the approaching horde. The group in the rover eventually regains consciousness, only to find themselves already at Bugs 1. They head inside, leaving two members to guard the entrance. Mina begins running diagnostics on the ship and soon discovers that it's transmitting data to someone on Earth. Suddenly, they hear gunshots outside and rush to investigate, only to find both guards dead. The cockroaches have found the weapons on board Bugs 1 and are using them to attack. Kachi injects himself with the drug, transforming into a giant hornet, gaining the ability to punch through the cockroaches and kill them instantly. Jen follows suit, becoming a desert locust that can leap up to 90 stories, while Mina transforms into a praying mantis, slashing through the cockroaches with ease. The team fights off the cockroaches, swiftly eliminating them. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the doctor, who makes a phone call. On the other end, a cockroach on Mars answers. This one can speak Japanese and communicates with the doctor. The doctor warns the cockroach to stay away from Komachi once he transforms, as his insect form is particularly dangerous. After the call ends, the cockroach enters Bugs 2 and restores the ship's oxygen. As it undergoes a gruesome transformation, Asuka, thought to be dead, emerges from the cockroach's body. It is revealed she had been working with the doctor all along. Asuka's unique power, after being injected, is the ability to control the cockroach's minds, much like an emerald cockroach wasp. She had manipulated the insects to turn on each other and survive. Asuka then kills the captain and pours water on Ichiro's body. Ichiro, part of the plan from the start, had transformed into an Asian coronum, a creature capable of surviving extreme conditions and reactivating with water. It turns out that the doctor's true mission was for them to retrieve a cockroach egg and bring it back to Earth so the Japanese government could breed the species for military purposes. The mission to exterminate the cockroaches was merely a decoy. Ichiro and Asuka take off in the ship with the egg, but midway through the flight, the egg hatches, revealing two evolved cockroaches. Asuka tries to use her mind control abilities on them, but they are far more advanced than the others, making them the most powerful of all. They kill Asuka and summon their kind for help. The cockroaches on the surface hear the call, and a swarm flies toward the ship, latching onto it and causing it to malfunction. The ship crashes near Bugs 1, and the evolved cockroaches emerge, commanding the others to attack Kachi's group. Kachi injects himself with another dose of the drug, accelerating his evolution. The group fights back without much trouble against the regular cockroaches. The evolved cockroaches prove difficult to defeat. One of them brutally kills Mina by ripping off her arm. Jin injects himself with a second dose of the drug, while Komachi is already on his third. With their enhanced abilities, they manage to kill more cockroaches, but the relentless swarm continues to attack in waves. Despite their efforts, the sheer number of enemies makes it hard to gain ground. Realizing the key to victory lies in defeating the evolved leaders, Jin injects himself with more doses of the drug, speeding up his transformation, though it becomes irreversible with each injection. He finally gains enough power to decapitate one of the leaders with a powerful kick. However, the multiple injections take a toll, and Jin is left unable to fight further. Kachi steps in to defend him, but he too is overpowered by the remaining leader. Just as the leader is about to strike, a glowing magical creature appears, spreading sparkling dust around. To everyone's amazement, it's Nanao, who has evolved into her final form. Kachi tries to fly towards Nanao, but before he can reach her, one of the cockroaches shoots at him. Unexpectedly, the dust Nanao spread turns out to be tiny explosives, triggering a series of blasts that wipe out the cockroaches. Jin manages to fly away just in time, saving Kachi, but Nanao dies in the explosion. Sometime later, Kachi wakes up to find that Jin has completely transformed into an insect. Jin asks Kachi to return to Earth without him, as this is his new life now. Kachi agrees and heads towards the ship. On his way, he encounters the still-living cockroach leader. Though Kachi is strong enough to kill him, he spares the weakened creature out of mercy. Inside the ship, he finds Ichiro, still alive. Ichiro saves Kachi by shooting a cockroach that was sneaking up behind him. Together, they launch the escape pod and begin their journey back to Earth, while the surviving cockroaches watch from Mars. Back on Earth, the doctor realizes that Ichiro has hacked into their system and is broadcasting the entire encounter worldwide. The doctor's assistant panics, knowing the secret plan of the Japanese government is being exposed. However, the doctor remains calm, revealing his intention to sell all the data on the bugs to other governments willing to buy it. As the assistant turns out to be a spy for the Japanese government, she points a gun at the doctor, but he's prepared. He dodges the bullet using a protective barrier and kills her with a poison designed for emergencies. On the spaceship, Ichiro vows to expose everyone involved in the mission. When Kachi is asked what he plans to do when he returns to Earth, he replies that he'll build memorials for all who died, and then return to Mars.